Your microphone is on mute.
Thank you. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I don't know really what happened. The whole thing's collapsed here. So
Okay.
whatever it is, let's move on. Sorry about it. Okay, so we do have the machine learning database. So this is really in line with we're going to connect or use a database. By the way, I didn't really tell you. During the semester, we were already using this database, which is internal. It's not really a database, but it's functioning like a mini. We didn't really need it during those 2 sessions, but we do need it for the assignment. So that's why I made sure we reinstall that one. Anyway, this is good. Now we want to go to the next part. It's generating the tables of this project inside the database. So the way we do that, we already know how. We don't already do, Mac migration will not do anything because, shouldn't really do anything because all the files that you have, you already created the code. So it should say everything is up to date. Okay, but migrate will do the work. So let it run, let it have its own checks. So what you're really doing now is basically going over all the projects, is going over all the projects and checking out if there is any model in any one of the applications that it didn't generate the SQL command. And the one that I gave you should have everything, but we will see. By the way, the stuff that you see here, it's not really an error. It's a special library that we will use next semester of TensorFlow. It can come working on CPU or GPU. Since you don't have a GPU, it gives you some message, but it's cooking. Slightly slow. Okay, see, no changes detected, which I expected. And we really want to do migrate. Migrate will create, since our database is empty, it will go over the SQL that the Mac migrations created and will create the data in the tables in the database. That's what this one does, and that's very important. You'll see it will create a lot of tables. Some of them are Django, some of them the one for other things. You can see the tables that I created for you, a lot of them, okay? Beautiful. Now that we have the tables, one of which is the table for the users.
Super user.
So remember what we did in semester 1, we do a create super user.
Super user, okay.
So that's next stage. We're gonna create super user. And this one, it's a Python, Django, I should say, Python, doesn't matter, the same things really. Creating a record in the user database, the user table in the database. It will ask me to put a user. We always usually put the admin. And Sergey, why don't you go ahead and put your email? Okay, enter. Now next, I will put the password. I will put it SQL1PASA. That's what I tell all my students. SQL1PASA, so you don't forget. And that's the way you log in to we're done. we have an application. It's all fully installed, and I should be able to run server now. Hopefully I didn't forget. Hold a second. In fact, one more. I shouldn't have had to do that, but it was my mistake. I said it last time. When I built the core, in the core, I built an objects for you in chapter 2. This algo 2, you're already creating, this one we already have seen, but I added to it this part. And this part is checking if you don't have the data, which you do not. It will download the zip file, as I said, and it will start running. But I made a mistake here. I put it 2020. It should be ready 2012. So I will update all the data. It was my mistake that before uploading it to the GitHub, I should have changed it, but whatever it is, doesn't matter. Now I can go back to here and write run server. Please don't forget that one, otherwise it will not run for that year, those years. It's run, beautiful. By the way, it takes a little more time than the regular application just because it has very heavy libraries for machine learning. So I'm clicking on here. I should see it's opening. Here we go. Usually, okay, very good. I think I always click on it twice. No. Yeah, we don't need this one, by the way. We need this one. Okay, beautiful. Now we're logging in. Remember the data, we put a super user, so we can log with the admin.
Yes.
And now we just double click, check that is the same password SQL1PASS. Let's say, by the way, let's see that one. Like that. Yeah, very good. Log in. Beautiful. We got the intro to machine learning. We have all those chapters. We go to chapter 2. And then after I run it, and that's the last step, you let it run. It will take until the morning probably to finish. I click on assignment. And you don't see anything's happened. Don't close it. Otherwise it will stop. You should leave it. It's you see here something is scrolling there. If you go down, open the pie chart, you can see that it's working. It will take quite a while. It's a huge database. As I said, more than 2.5 million records in the big table. Can you go to the pie chart, please? Yeah. You see it's downloading. What it really does, stage number 1, as I said, if you go here, okay, if you go here, you have in the setting, not in the setting, sorry, my mistake, in the static, and the first things it does, it created for you the intro to machine learning. Under the data, it created the data sets. By the way, start cooking 2012. Under this one, it's supposed to create another directory. Another, by the way, it didn't create it. Yeah, here we go, it did. And under this one, you should have all those Excels, you see? He downloaded them. Now he's opening the first one, which is a huge Excel. All of them are very big. And then he's going to run for each one of them. You see, start running. Is really running this function, which I created for you. First of all, he did that one, by the way. He created the account table, put the stuff there, created the companies table. After he finished all of those one, then he goes to do, lastly, so I'm going the wrong direction. Then he goes for every year. That's why I changed it for 2012. He's starting from 2012, take the Excel of 2012, push it to this function, and this function takes the data from the Excel and put it in the database. By the way, the important function you can tell, this is really not a trivial code, but it's not that hard really either. This is really taking it from the account, company, and then eventually the one that does the work, it's really this line. You can tell it takes 4 variables and create a record. Get or create means it's checking if you have it already there. The truth of the matter, I could have given up on the get because the get is searching, so it's slowing it down a little bit. But I just want to make sure if I'm getting more data so I don't duplicate. If I have duplication, the get will make sure there won't be any duplication. Okay, so now it's running. It will finish the 2012 and it will call this function again for 2013. You can tell here, if you go up a little bit, so this one does a loop for NQ in file year quarter, file year quarter. This is a very tricky. This is called comprehensions. Okay. I talked about it in the beginning for Python. Please do look it up. What this one is creating really a tuple for every year between this one and this one. So really this one has a year and 0. It's like a tuple. But it doesn't really matter. You don't really need to care about it. It's doing a loop over all of them, calling this function for every year. So after I finish 2012, it will go to 2013, 14, etc. until it finishes. And activating, this is the important function that does the work, but we don't really care. It does the work. So why do I care? When it's done, then I can show you what we did today in my computer. Fair enough? So Sergey, please
Yes.
leave your PyCharm on until tomorrow. And also don't close this browser. Okay?
Okay.
If you close it, it
Okay.
will stop. So they will get a signal that you want to stop the function. So minimize it and don't touch it. Okay?
Okay.
Questions, guys, for the process? Okay,
It's good for me.
good. I will stop the recording. I will upload the 2 recording of the tape.
Okay.
Let me do another, I just want to stop your sharing. I will share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, guys, I will share my screen again. By the way, if you look at the Zoom I sent you today, I sent you a file.
Okay.
This is mine, okay?
Yes.
By the way, it's very smart. Next time, when you refresh, yeah, I stop that. What did I do? Let me see. Maybe I did stop it. My PyCharm is closed, so I will open it. Let me open the other project, the machine learning project. Where is it? Machine learning. Here we go. Okay. This is my machine learning. By the way, it's very smart. Why is very smart? Because when I go to that, you already know that if I go assignment, you already checked that I already downloaded the data. He's not going to do it again. He's just going to do the extra I did today in the beginning, adding this table or showing you the table. I wouldn't really just for you, we actually going to do it a little smarter, but this function is very smart in a sense. We would like to utilize this object I created for you. It's already trivial, but I will strongly recommend to look into it. It's called security data Honestly, a lot of people would pay a lot of money to have that one. If you ask somebody doing a PhD in finance, they would love to get a function like that. What's special about this object? First of all, I created inside, this is an object. Like we had the algo, remember we had the algo in utilities? See the algo? There's all this functionality. You see that? What I did here, I did another security data, and I inherit from algo. So security data really has all the functionality of algo, like what we did in chapter 1, chapter 2. Security data has all the other functions. So, but I don't really need most of them here. What I did here, and by the way, if you really want, you can combine it with algo 2 of chapter 2, yeah? You know, and then you can give up the chapter 2. Have
You're
all
not
of
seeing
that
your screen.
stuff. You could have taken all of that stuff and move it to the other object. It will be just fine. Okay.
Amos,
Yeah.
you're not seeing your screen.
Ah, you don't? I shared. Sorry about it. Let me try that again. Thank you for telling me. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Yeah.
You see my pie chart?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I'm saying algo 2, which we used for chapter 2, inherit from algo. If you want to do everything, you could have done it here. But I preferred to make a general function dealing with data. Okay? Still inheriting from algo, so I have all the functionality of algo if I need it. Okay? And I added special functions dealing with database, which are very important. Raman had mentioned it last time. And what I did here for you, which is really elegant, you can, let's forget about this one for now. This function is very important function. I can transfer an SQL command, but you have to learn a little bit about SQL. They will go to the database and pull the data from the table or even several tables, okay? Usually people that deal with Django or do web application do not deal with that. That's machine learning net really is. This is for machine learning people. But I made your life easy. You can transfer an SQL command and you get it. The simplest one is select star from some table. It will give you all the table. Okay. Then I said, let's do it even smarter. Let's make it smarter because we already know the data we have. And that's what I call it security data. It will work beautifully with the data you are downloading and putting in the database. And I made for you a function called get data. Very simple. What it does really, the first line is really reading an Excel file from the style. If you remember in the data sets, we downloaded all those Excels. One of the Excels, this one, has some information. Yeah. This one has some information. And in fact, it has all the accounts. By the way, this is all the CIK of the companies. Okay, the data for it, it's in another place. I won't get into it now. I don't really care either. This is just their numbers. So if any times you want to really see, there's a lot of companies here that I downloaded from the SEC. This is the account. And if you see balance sheets account, you learn it with me with financial statement analysis. You have statement of cash flow. You have income statement, you should have in the top probably, income statement. And if I want from the database you're putting in your database now, I want only those columns. What I did for you, which is really nice, is you can put the number 1 next to the columns that you want. and see what he's going to do. This is beautiful. In fact, if you're really smart, I would encourage you to try to understand it. That's really nice. I used that. I published like 4 or 5 articles, and people died to get this data for me, the way I organize it. And you will see, if you want, I will teach you how you download quarterly data. And if anybody wants to do finance later on, this is a beautiful database. Okay. In any case, I just created an array. This is a list in Python. And this one, I'm starting a whale section. It doesn't really tell you much here, but what it really does, you read the Excel, and here is going to check where did I put one, on which variable I put one. Wherever I put one is adding it to the SQL. Eventually, this W underscore is pumping inside here, is really adding it to the SQL. This is a very sophisticated, not ready for that course, but this is for business intelligence course. In any case, is making the SQL how to put the data from the big table. This is the big table that has all the data. And it makes sure to put there only the columns I ask for. By the way, I just added here to give me only 2020, but I'm going to remove it because I don't want to limit it. Or if I really want to make 2 data sets and put them in my algo, if you remember in my algo, okay, let's go back to the algo algorithm. In the algo, we have different database. We have the data, we have the trend, and the test. Data is include everything. Am I right? Trend, it's only the trend data. And the test is only the test data. So I can put everything here and then split those two using the functions we talked in the class. If you remember, we have a lot of functions we can do. We can do stratified sampling. We can do, by the way, those are beautiful functions you can use. This is load CSV, lost Excel. But the one I'm looking, here we go. Split, trend, test. And I can tell him, I can give him the data or just use it here. I can give it to him. And in fact, in my case, really, I don't have anything in the data. So I will run it and put it in and let him do the shuffling. Okay, he does the shuffling. I give him 20%, that's okay. I can use that. I can give him the data. And how do I give him the data? In a minute, I will show you. The data will get in here, because if data is none, you took that one, otherwise you use data. If I give him the data, I will use this data. I use the NumPy, random, imputations, permutations, and it does the indexes, it's doing shuffling randomly, get 20%, and it split the data to trend and test. And then I have the test and the trend right there. Meaning, I can go now into here. Since this one is already inheriting from algo, meaning it can use this function. It can use this function. So I can take this one and go back to here. Since this is inheriting from this one can call that function. See, after I do the pivot, by the way, I don't want to limit. I will take the limit away. I want all the data. I will take all the data. I will take him some time, of course. And after I create it, I would like to create those two ones. I'm curious really to know how long does it take him. And then after I do the pivot is organizing it the way I want it. I give it the names, and now I can play with it. I can call self dot control V, and I can use to create those two data sets. And that's beautiful, okay? And the truth of the matter, if I want, I can make it even more sophisticated. By the way, I don't really need the date, that one. And I probably will keep this one. And the data, what will I put as the data? It's my table. The table is really my database. And inside I put the table, and he's going to take all the data in the table and split it to two data sets. One will be for the training, one will be for the test. And now I can be even smarter. Why I can be smarter? And I can return, would make more sense, self dot training, train, and I can return also self dot test. You see that? I can return, I split it to two, I can use it. And that's really the other two. Usually I don't need to use them because later on I will use the other function in this one to in the algo. All the functionality for the algorithms are here, so I don't really need to return them. It's just really for checking that I'm not making any mistakes. So when I go to the view, the one that really did all the hard work for me, when I go to the assignment, let me just minimize all of those. The one that did the work, where's the assignment, by the way? Control F, assignment. Here we go. Okay, let me minimize those stuff. Okay. By the way, it's really a waste. You can call it a waste. It won't be wrong to say, but it's good for you as an exercise. Here you're creating a security data, and the security data, you're calling the get, but this time you will get two databases. You can call it DF train and DF test. So that's the two data sets we will get. That's beautiful. I can print it. DF train, but it won't be smart. Those databases are huge. Okay. I usually will print, maybe I will put that head, remember? Head only give me only few lines. Okay. And that's where I will look only at a few lines, and because printing it will take the whole screen. I'll do the same things for the test. And I'll print only a few lines. Okay? And by the way, I wouldn't really even transfer it to the screen. That will not be smart because it would take a long, you know what, let's try it. Let's do the test at least. DF, I'll put there the test. The test is supposed to be really small. Okay? Let's run it. Let's see if I get it on. Okay or not. But the truth of the matter, this is really nice. Part of what we learned in the data preparation, preparing, train, and the test. But we haven't finished. We will continue next time. I just wanted at least to show you this one, and I will do it with you next time. Okay? I will give you as a challenge to try to do it yourself. Let's see who will be able to. I'm running it. By the way, it's running. Is really doing a hell of a lot of work. Takes him a little time. You see, it's still running. Postgrese connection is closed. Why is that? It doesn't like it. No, it's fine. It's running. It's beautiful. It did it. I can't believe it did it so fast. I'm amazed. Okay, it did it so fast. It's impressive. Very impressive. This is, by the way, the test only. See how big it is. See that?
Yes.
Okay, here I did it on, honestly, I will leave it this way, but I'm telling you this is wrong. This is wrong to do it this way. This is the way we learn in the course. Use that function, but I claim that function was not good. If you do it this way, somebody will criticize you. I will criticize you. I leave it to you as an exercise. Try to say why what I did conceptually from machine learning point of view, it is wrong. Why is it wrong in this specific case to divide the data 80-20 in using this function? Why is it wrong? I will give you a hint and think about it. And we'll talk about it next time. Think about it. I have data from 2012 up to 2020. What am I trying to find out, by the way? What am I trying to find out in my assignment? I'm trying to predict the net income. Look at that database. Here we go. I'm trying to get the net income to predict for a specific company what will be the net income next year. What am I doing now? This is totally wrong. I'm taking all the data, all the years, dividing them 80 and 20. So some company, I might take the 2012 up to 2018 or 2016 missing. I'm not taking it. The truth of the matter, I would like my test data to be the 2020, and my training will be 2012 up to 2019. In fact, I gave you the answer, but I want you to think about it, why this should be the right. So I really shouldn't use this method. This is what we learn in the class. It's perfect when we looked at the districts and we wanted to predict for different districts. But this is not the right one when we have a time series, when the time is going and moving, and starting from 2012, moving to 2020, I'm using data from 2012 up to 2019, predicting the next year. That's the whole objective. Otherwise, why I'm doing this exercise? Analysts, financial analysts, would like to predict the profit of a company a year ahead. That's what they're making value. That's a beautiful algorithm to try to use it. So I recommend to change that, and we discuss that again next week. Questions, guys? Diamond, anybody?
Yeah.
Everybody happy, Sergey?
Yes, I'm there.
Happy? Diamond?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Diamond yet. Is he asleep?
No.
Let me see if you are awake. I don't believe you. Let's see your face. Are you waking up now? You see, he's asleep. I told you so again. Tuko, you doing good? Here's Diamond. Yeah, you are awake.
Dr. Draman is there.
How you doing, Diamond?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I will repeat this section next time. Again, I will upload the videos. Please make sure for next session to everybody has all the data run. If you have any problem, please call Draman. He will help you. He will be more than help you. So everybody will have all the data. And then I will go over that component again. And then we conclude the course, in fact, by showing you what I'm expecting you to run. We'll run 3 algorithms, linear regressions. We run decision tree, random forest. Random forest can take a long time, but I will let you run it and wait for it until it finishes. I run it on my computer, should be much faster. I have a lot of RAM. I have 32 giga RAM, and it should run very fast. In any case, and then we'll go over all the steps we did in chapter 2, and that will be your assignment. I will do it, upload it to the internet, and then ask you, and that will be your assignment before you can take the exam. You duplicate what I do on your computer. This way, I'm sure you know how to do it. At least you have a copy. You have the recording. That's the best way to learn. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Questions? Tuko? Ora, you doing good, Ora?
Ora.
I think Ora went to sleep. You see what you're doing, Draman?
Yeah.
Making sessions in the middle of the night. I don't know how I'm awake. Daniel, you're doing good. By the way, I asked Daniel and a few students from Uganda, but they're going to take this course after they finish the certificate 3 in software engineering. Here's Daniel. Daniel is the genius. He and Jeremiah and Jimmy and Brenda, they are the one that doing all those websites. I noticed you're almost done there, Daniel. By the way, next week, Draman, Sergey, anybody wants to join 11 o'clock every day, I will start developing another web page template for businesses. It's called BizLand, a beautiful template for businesses. And you asked that question last time, Sergey. We
Yes.
already finished a very sophisticated one. We're starting the whole things on another template.
Okay.
Once in a while, I will do more and more templates. This is something you can, if you, when you want, you can really sell if you want, you can use and utilize your knowledge. But Daniel, Jeremiah, Jimmy are the three in charge of managing those. Brenda is really on the border on from statistics. Next time she will take machine learning and she will step up. She's excellent in software engineering now. She's enhancing a little bit, learning about graphics. I think I showed it to you last time. Here she is. And she will link it to what we do in machine learning after she finishes those courses. So that would be really nice. My hope, I told it to Draman, and I'm telling it to everybody. I really would like one time there will be a collaboration between the two countries. That would be beautiful.
Okay.
By the way, if you have a client that can use the template we did for the Fab House Africa, I think it's a beautiful template for any business almost. Please approach us. Daniel, Jeremiah, and Jimmy will be happy to help you to do that. Okay, thank you guys. We meet next time. Draman, please make sure everybody has the data and I will upload the videos.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.